3 completions on 14 attempts. Let that sink in for a moment, because that's not just bad. That's a stat line that should make a front office break out in a cold sweat. Dillon Gabriel, the quarterback Cleveland spent a third-round pick on, played like a man trying to throw a football with his eyes shut in the middle of a hurricane. And while Gabriel was out there spraying passes like a busted lawn sprinkler in July, Shador Sanders was once again putting on a clinic. Calm, poised, efficient. The so-called project, the 5th rounder, the son of Deion Sanders. The quarterback. Most teams didn't even want to give a real chance until now. Friday's practice wasn't just another day at Browns camp. It was a public trial. The field was the courtroom, and the jury was the game tape. Gabriel looked lost, rattled, and completely out of sync. Meanwhile, Shador? Smooth mechanics, laser accuracy, 7 completions on 10 attempts, 1 touchdown, 0 turnovers. Yet somehow, someway, he's still buried behind a quarterback who couldn't hit a 5-yard slant if his career depended on it. At this point, it's no longer about development or letting guys grow. This is ego over evidence, pride over production. The Browns front office spent a higher pick on Gabriel, and now they're clinging to that decision like it's a lifeline, even if it means sidelining the better quarterback. And if you think this is just about football, think again. Because if Shador Sanders had a different name stitched on his jersey, he wouldn't be sitting there waiting for second-team reps. He'd already be the face of the franchise. Gabriel's performance wasn't just disappointing. It was a masterclass in why he should never have been drafted over Shador in the first place. Let's stop sugarcoating it. Dillon Gabriel was awful. Not working through growing pains, awful. Not still learning the system, awful. Just straight up, career stalling, awful. 3 completions on 14 throws. No touchdowns, 1 interception. No rhythm, no confidence, just mistake after mistake. And before anyone says, oh, but maybe the defense was just dominant, let's be clear. This wasn't the 85 Bears flying off the edge. This was a padded practice, controlled environment, scripted reps. Gabriel still couldn't get the job done. Meanwhile, Sanders was dealing with fewer reps, less support, and more pressure, yet lit it up again. The difference was night and day. You could see the energy shift when Shador stepped on the field. Teammates leaned in, routes got crisper, linemen dug deeper. That's not just skill, that's leadership. That's the intangible it factor you can't coach. And yet, the Browns handed Gabriel nearly 5 more passing attempts than Shador. Why? Not because he earned it. Not because he was sharper. But because the Browns are playing the same tired game teams always play. They're protecting the draft pick they invested more in, even when the return on that investment is plummeting. This isn't a quarterback competition, it's a cover-up. And the tape doesn't lie. If Friday's practice was a job interview, Shador Sanders walked in wearing a tailored suit with a flawless presentation. Gabriel showed up late with coffee stains on his shirt. We all know if the roles were reversed, if Gabriel had the 71% completion rate with a touchdown and Sanders was out there going 3 for 14, the media would already be declaring Gabriel the future of the franchise. But because it's Shador Sanders, the 5th-round pick with a famous father, suddenly everything is complicated and nuanced. No, what it is the Browns running a draft investment protection program instead of a fair competition. Gabriel was a 3rd-rounder, Shador, 2 rounds later. And instead of coaching the better player, they're doubling down on a mistake because admitting Shador is better means admitting they were wrong. And here's another layer. This league still struggles with confident young black quarterbacks who come in with swagger, substance, and a following. Shador isn't just talented, he's his own brand. He's got his own money, his own voice, and his own mind. That makes him dangerous to the NFL machine. Dillon Gabriel? Safe, unassuming, obedient, no threat to the establishment. But on the scoreboard, in the stat sheet, and on the practice field, Shador is the one screaming, "Put me in," without saying a word. And let's be clear, Friday wasn't an isolated bad day for Gabriel. It's been the story of camp. Stack up the numbers side by side. Shador Sanders, 50 completions on 70 attempts, 71.4% completion rate, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Dillon Gabriel, 51 completions on 87 attempts, 58.6% completion rate, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's had 17 more passing attempts than Shador and still has just 1 more completion. That's not development, it's desperation. The Browns are force-feeding him snaps like they're hoping the stats will magically even out. Browns fans know football. They might be loyal to a fault, they might hold out hope longer than they should, but they aren't stupid. Scroll through any Browns fan forum, Reddit thread, or X timeline, and you'll see the same questions over and over. Why is Gabriel still getting second-team reps? How do you throw 3 for 14 and get rewarded? Why isn't Shador the one being fast-tracked? One user broke it down in plain English. Sanders, 71. 4% completion rate, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. Gabriel, 58. 6%, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 17 more attempts. That's not a competition, that's domination. And when fans sitting on couches can see the truth more clearly than the coaching staff standing on the sideline, you've got a serious problem brewing in Cleveland. Even the media, which at first played along with the "let's wait and see" narrative, is starting to crack. Beat reporters are raising eyebrows, analysts are beginning to question the logic, and national voices are taking notice that maybe, just maybe, the Browns aren't making decisions based on performance. The NFL isn't college ball. There aren't boosters to please or scholarship promises to keep. In this league, production is supposed to be the currency. Yet here we are, watching the most productive rookie quarterback on the roster get shoved into the background while the front office clings to their draft day mistake. If the Browns keep this up, they're not just going to lose Shador Sanders. They're going to lose the locker room, the fan base, and potentially the season. And let's not forget the reality of Cleveland's quarterback situation. Joe Flacco is not the long-term answer, and Kenny Pickett, when healthy, hasn't shown the consistency of a true franchise quarterback. The Browns are sitting in quarterback limbo, yet instead of leaning into the guy who's tearing up camp, they're babysitting a project who keeps throwing ducks into double coverage. Here's the nightmare scenario. Preseason rolls around, Gabriel gets extended snaps while Shador sits, or worse, only comes in during garbage time. The media questions get sharper. The fans start booing after every 3 and out. Veterans in the locker room, the ones who have seen Shador's arm talent up close, start whispering to each other, questioning why politics is winning over performance. And then the regular season hits. The offense sputters. Gabriel looks lost under real game speed. The Browns are suddenly knee-deep in a quarterback controversy that they created for themselves. All of it could have been avoided by following one simple principle: let the best man win. But Cleveland chose pride over results, loyalty to a draft pick over loyalty to the truth. And if they don't correct course, they're going to pay the price. Because here's the blunt truth. Shador Sanders isn't just better than Dillon Gabriel. He's so much better that the fact we're even debating it is borderline insulting. If Shador isn't starting by mid-season, don't be surprised if he's wearing another jersey by 2026, lighting up the Browns from across the field while the dog pound wonders what could have been. This isn't just a quarterback battle anymore. It's an indictment of Cleveland's front office, their coaching staff, and the scouts who watched Dillon Gabriel's erratic tape and said, "That's our guy," while ignoring the polished, disciplined, accurate passer in Sanders. The numbers aren't close, the film isn't close. And Friday's practice was the breaking point. Gabriel's 3 for 14 wasn't just bad, it was the final piece of proof that the Browns have been wrong from the start. Shador has done everything right, accurate, turnover-free, poised beyond his years. Yet somehow, they still treat him like a clipboard holder who has to earn his shot, while Gabriel gets promoted for playing like a man allergic to completions. That's how losing organizations stay losing organizations. But there's still time to fix it. Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, Jimmy Haslam, whoever's calling the shots, needs to swallow their pride and put politics aside. Because Shador Sanders isn't just the best rookie quarterback in this camp, he's the best quarterback, period. If Cleveland keeps disrespecting him, someone else is going to give him the crown they fumbled. And when that happens, they'll be left explaining to the city why they let the future walk away. The truth is, this is bigger than just a camp battle. This is about how the NFL handles players who don't fit into their mold. The league is still uncomfortable with quarterbacks who walk in with confidence, personality, and brand power, especially when they come from black families that refuse to play the humble, grateful role the league expects. Deion Sanders was a problem for the establishment because he didn't just play the game, he changed it. He made it about more than just football. Now his son is here, carrying that same energy, that same independence, and the League D.